Big Boxing Live. DJ Boxing Live here. DJ Boxing Live here. And he won this damn fight.
How you doing, fight fans? EJ Boxing Live here, and we are back again. We have the panel. We have Now TV, B-Moss Boxing. We have No Place Like Low Place. We have Ben Umar coming up soon, and we're gonna talk about Terry Turbo Flanagan versus Maurice Hooker for the double. I think for the vacant 140 belt. Vacant double.
Yes.
Vacant double be your 140 belt.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, now talk. Obviously, Maurice Hooker's from the States. You go first and tell us about the guy.
Well, Maurice Hooker is a guy that, he was one of, I guess, the kind of the marquee potential up-and-comers that Rock Nation had signed a couple years back when they were scooping up the likes of Ward, Cotto Rigondeaux, and et cetera. But, of course, they also grabbed up some prospects, too. He was one of those guys that they were looking to try and build. He didn't exactly get built well, necessarily. And I think as he's kind of stepped up in class, he's shown quite a few deficiencies. Probably most notably when he fought against Darley Perez on, what was that? I think that was the Ward Kovalev 1 undercard. And frankly, he got a gift. He got a gift draw against Perez. Perez pretty much boxed his ass off, and he wound up getting a split draw in that fight. Since then, he has a couple of wins, but over guys that, frankly aren't, top tier. Courtney Jackson and Cristobal Cruz. Cruz was a champion way back in the day. He fought Orlando Salido back in the mid-2000s, but, that just shows you how far he's removed from his prime and from his prime weight class himself. So I don't think terribly highly of Hooker necessarily, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think particularly highly of Flanagan either. I think Flanagan's series of opponents as a champion at 135 has left a lot to be desired himself. So even though it's a kind of a big step up for Hooker, for Flanagan, I think I think he has a chance against him. I think Hooker has a chance against Flanagan because I don't think Flanagan is necessarily all that. He's a good boxer. He's serviceable, but I don't think he's necessarily like even a top tier 140 pounder.
Absolutely. So what's your prediction on these two? Who you got?
I have Flanagan. I do think that overall the consistency of his opponents has been just slightly better than Hooker's, and he hasn't necessarily lost to any of them. He hasn't gotten any gift against the likes of Peter Petrov or Diego Magdaleno or Jose Zepeda, although that kind of ended in a bit of a controversial circumstance that probably should have been no contest. But I think Flanagan has at the very least been a little bit consistently better performing than Hooker has.
Wow. All right, cool, man. Nice one now. B-Mosh got B-Mosh Boxing here. Unmute yourself, B-Mosh. B-Mosh Boxing. Got mute. Okay. Well, I give time for B-Mosh to come off.
I'm on mute. Damn, I didn't know I was on mute. Okay.
Yeah, I have to put you on mute because I usually get background. Go ahead, B-Mosh.
Yeah, man. You see, I haven't seen Maurice Hooker since that fight with Darley Perez. You know what I mean? I think Darley Perez was moving up in weight. I haven't seen him fight since then, but that was a robbery right there, man. I had Perez winning that fight easily. And I do think that, Terry Flanagan is just a little slightly better, just got a slightly better resume. And I'm not too high on neither of these guys, you know what I mean? But I think that the man Terry Flanagan, I think he should pull this off, man. He's fighting at home. He's fought better opponents, you know what I mean? Former world champions, from fellas like and he fought that one African dude, man. What was the African dude? Muzuki or something.
Fana. Mazonke Fana.
Yeah, he was past his prime when Flanagan fought him. But, he's just fought a little better competition, and I just think he's going to pull it off. He's at home. I think he should get it done.
All right. Nice one, B-Mosh. Like everything you just said there is right on point, B-Mosh. I have to say, I can't disagree with you. I'm going to leave my verdict to the end. So that's Flanagan. And now, are you going with Maurice Hooker, right? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
No. I favor Flanagan to get the W.
That's too Flanagan.
I think it's a pretty competitive fight, but I think Flanagan will ultimately get the nod.
Yeah.
All right, cool. B-Mosh. Not B-Mosh, sorry. Benuma.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I've never seen Maurice Hooker fight that I can recall. Maybe I've seen that Darlene Perez fight, but I'm not going to front like I remember it because I don't. And I've only seen Terry Flanagan beat up the Puerto Rican faggot. So on the strength of that, I'll just go with Flanagan because I really don't know shit about either one of these motherfuckers. And I don't think Flanagan's good, though. From the one fight I see, he struggled with that homo. So I don't think he's got them hands like that. But I'll pick him to beat this guy, considering I've never seen him fight.
Okay. All right. Umar, not Umar. Why am I getting names confused? Been a minute since I talked to you guys. No place like low place.
Man, he beat the shit out. He beat the shit out of Orlando Cruz, bro. Ain't that his name?
Yeah, he did. I think he stopped.
Yeah, he stopped him, but it took him like 6 or 7 rounds, man. I'd have had that faggot out of there in 30 seconds.
Hey, he's tough though. He's pretty tough. But go ahead, Lopez.
He whooped him cleanly, but yeah. Man, I don't even know who promoting Hooker no more. So if you could, I haven't seen those last 2 fights, but I did see that.
Top rank.
Oh, really? He with them now?
Yeah, he's with Top Rank. Go on.
Okay, so he got released from Rock Nation and got with Top Rank.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that. So I was thinking, if he had no promoter, if you can't win when you're in protected fights with a good push behind you, what make me think you can win when you only got your day ones in the gym with you, like your pops and his friend doing it for free, and you're half-assing. Meanwhile, Terry Flanagan been defending the title, with good training and shit like that, promotion behind him. I don't know. And even without that, Terry Flanagan just looked like the better fighter. Maurice Hooker got everything to prove in this shit. Like, he looked garbage, as far as an American boxer that got some kind of name, he's one of the worst. So he got everything to prove. I think Flanagan should be the favorite. But like I said, this is not a fight that I'm just, if I don't catch it, I don't catch it,
Boy, listen. Hey, you guys are made so good. That's what the board already Flanagan, and I'm not gonna go against it. I'm not gonna go against it. I have to put someone on mute for a minute. It's probably low place again. Yeah, I'm putting you on mute for a second. All right, I'm not gonna go against the board. I'm just not gonna go against the board. It's a hand-picked fight in terms for a vacant title. And Maurice, I look at him as as American. Like you said, he's just tall, he's rangy. But bro, I watched the guy fight, and as you see, Darlene Perez, like B-Moss pointed out, Darlene Perez looked like he beat him. He hasn't fought no names. His age as well. He's an American. You're gonna have to deal with the jet lag. You're gonna have to deal with the UK fans. There's a lot to overcome. And the thing is, even though he's undefeated and stuff like that, like Frank Warren have well picked him. Terry Flanagan should win the fight. But there's factors in the fight that gonna call Terry Flanagan. He's longer, he's taller, he don't hit hard, but he can be busy with that jab. It could cause him awkward, but Terry Flanagan ultimately should be able to win this fight out here. But if he doesn't, and Hooker caused the upset, it'd be a big shock. But I think Terry Flanagan should walk away that. Frank Warren are making sure that Terry Flanagan is going to be multiple WBO world champions, but against names guys never heard of and fringe guys. He wanted the Omar Figueroa fight. And Omar Figueroa, unfortunately, the car incident, that's the fight I wanted to see. There's other names in the division at 140. There's the Ngongo. There's Carla Reddick. So there's names up there. So if you capture that belt, we want to see a unification at 140, hopefully. And I'm sure Terry Flanagan wants them fights there. So, Maurice Hooker was to win it, upset the party. But right now, all I'm saying is he's got a lot of range. He's tall. But that's all I see. I was watching. That's all I see. I don't see nothing special about Maurice Hooker to upset Terry Flanagan, who's he's strong at home and he comes forward and he's busy, bro. He's gonna be busy, and you got the UK judges, and you know how that works, man. So I'm gonna go with Flanagan. It's the first time on the board that I'm gonna have to agree with the panel. Usually I'll just be like, I'll be a contrarian, but I'm gonna have to go with the panel. We've got no one in the chat. With no one in the chat right now. Also, we're gonna mention them when they go around the panel. So it's gonna be Tyson Fury is gonna be coming back. Now I was going to start off with Stefan, whatever his name is. Stefan, or whatever his name is. Some cruiserweight. Tyson Fury's first opponent, a 10-rounder. Now, what do you know about the opponent? What do you think about Tyson Fury's first opponent back from his hiatus, or what you guys call it?
There's only one Tyson Fury, man. Or should I sing it? There's only one. No, but I mean, I'm glad that he's at least back in the ring. You know, but it is against you know, very much a handpicked opponent. You know, a small cruiserweight, old guy, a guy that, you know, has a glossy looking record, but a hell of a lot of knockouts. But he himself got his ass whooped by Manuel Char. But you know, I guess Char's at least a belt holder now at heavyweight. But you know, Fury should be able to box however the hell he wants to against this guy and get an easy dub. So, you know, at the very least, you know, he's back active again, and hopefully he stays active and we can get these big fights that we want to see out of him. That's all I got to say about it.
Okay. B. Marsh.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about the opponent Tyson Fury facing besides him being a cruiserweight and he's an older dude, you know. So I noticed that's a handpicked guy, you know, which is understandable since Tyson Fury ain't fought in over 2 years, you know. So I think he's probably gonna style on the guy and probably knock him out at some point. You know what I mean? I don't think he should be going the distance with this guy, regardless of how long he been out the ring. You know what I mean? This guy's from somewhere in Europe where you know, I never really hear of boxers coming out of there. I don't even know anybody he fought. So these are like the opponents David Hay chose. Them Gaga Jai,
Yeah, that's true.
Mark Morey kind of guys. Same thing. You know, so I don't think this guy will give Tyson Fury any problems. But I'm happy to see Fury back in the ring, bring more excitement to the heavyweight division. You know, the man still is undefeated. All the belts AJ has were his. So hopefully he can try get in the mix and try get him back or get some kind of belts back.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Nice one. Benuma.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like B-Mon said, I don't know nothing about that guy, that cruiserweight. I know he's got a very good record, but when I went through box record and looked at it, there's very few names that are even somewhat recognizable. But I guess it's good. It's just good to see Tyson Fury back in the ring, man.
Yeah,
So maybe he can go and challenge AJ, get those belts back that AJ's walking around with like they're his when they're really not. I'll give Tyson Fury 2 of these type of fights before I expect him to step it up. But he should get rid of this guy before 10. He shouldn't be going the distance with no cruiserweight, especially no aged cruiserweight that hasn't really fought on that level. So I expect Tyson Fury to knock this guy out.
Oh, man.
I think that's what he's in there for.
Nice one, boy. Low place.
I don't know what to expect from Tugboat Fury, man. I'm just like
Tugboat.
Yeah. Ain't that the wrestler Tugboat? And
That's
his new name. Till he in shape and he shows some shit, he Tugboat. Look, I don't really give a shit. Yeah, at the end of the day, he fucked his career off, and this is where he at. If he get his ass dropped, some shit pop off up in that, even better. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the people that doing it right need to be the people that need to be getting the praise and joy, and we need to be worrying about. B. Marsh made a good point. He on that David Hay shit, and we saw how that David Hay shit end. We don't need them experiments no more. Get right or get the fuck left. That's what it is. So look, Tugboat, I wish you all the best. But I don't give a shit until you show it. Like that, I mean, and that's just fair. You did your shit while you was here. It was boring. That ain't the issue. You got your job done with Klitschko. It don't matter if it was boring. You got it done. Somebody got to take it from you. But instead, you went and shot yourself in the head and took it yourself. You committed suicide in this boxing shit. And you came back as Tugboat. And that's just how it is until you change it, bro. Tugboat and Earthquake. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. What you said there. I agree with the panel. Fury should win that fight. I'm gonna go with Flanagan, and if Flanagan that fight I've already put out. But I must say Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to be in this card against Martin Murray, and that card got pulled. That fight got pulled because Billy Joe Saunders got a hamstring. And you know we can talk about that. Does anyone in the panels when they want to address that Billy Joe Saunders or what you guys in America call say Billy Ho? Do you guys want to address that him pulling out
You
against?
know what it is. He trying to get that Canelo fight, man. He trying to get Canelo a Gennady, man. He shouldn't have never been fighting dude in the first. But Martin Murray ought to be blessed that he was even mentioned. It's like Martin Murray is like what's the Smith, Beefy Smith of middleweight. Just keep getting fucking shots for nothing. Fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, I agree with B Marsh, man. Like Martin, I don't give a damn about Martin Murray getting another shot that he didn't deserve. Saunders to me was gonna box his ears off, even if he half-assed it in training. So I want to see Saunders against the very best, and I want to see the best version of Saunders against those guys. That's all there is to it. You know, had it been to stay busy on the road to one of those bigger fights, you know, so be it. But at the very least, maybe he's cutting the short shit short and just going after the big fights to begin with, and that's all there's going to be about it. So hopefully, him versus Canelo or Golovkin is on in a possible series of fights coming up for him. And you know, the Martin Murray fight is nothing to really cry about, as far as I'm concerned.
Anyone else want to say anything about it before we move on?
Go ahead, B-Marsh. I'll go last.
You know, Billy Joe, I was looking forward to seeing him fight. You know, just to see, you know, what the I expect him to beat Martin Murray, but you know, Martin Murray is not even supposed to be challenging for a world title shot. You know what I mean? That's just it's gonna be easy money for Billy Joe. But I don't know if Billy Joe's really hurt. I don't know about him really and truly. You know what I mean? He does these type of things often. You know, he's also a guy who fights once a year, so hopefully he has something better lined up if he ain't gonna fight Martin Murray come this weekend. I really would like to see him fight one of these American middleweights.
Yeah, I'll be good.
I would too, but I think he's gonna avoid them like the plague.
Yeah, it's a damn shame because he looked real good against Lemieux.
Yeah.
Now you gotta step it up, and now you beat Canada's middleweight. You gotta fight these guys in the States, and there's plenty of them out here.
Go ahead, Umar.
No, I mean I agree with pretty much everybody, but I'm it's kind of sus how Billy Joe Saunders just be getting hurt at random times. It's like random times that he does it consistently. I think like T said that he's probably trying to line himself up for a bigger fight, but at the same time, who's to say he's going to get that bigger fight? Because Triple G and Canelo, I think they're going to end up fighting regardless. I think they're just playing games right now, haggling over a couple dollars here or there. So I don't know what Billy Joe Saunders is going to do, but I would like to see him fight a Charlo or one of those types of fighters, man. But I don't think he will.
Absolutely, man. My take on the whole thing with Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is consistently been doing this, and he's been pulling out of cards from all last year constantly. How many times did he pull out of Andy Lee? What other fights? He does this a lot, man. He's like he's boned or wherever it is. For some reason, he gets hot pants and just pulls out of fights. And Frank Warren goes along with it, which is disappointing in itself, and it's very frustrating for the fans who are buying tickets. And to be fair, I don't know why Frank Warren doesn't even get rid of him. When you got that, and this is the thing about pro game that we can consistently say, about Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, them guys, they never pulled out of any fight. Not that I have ever heard of. Never. But you got Billy Joe Saunders and Tyson. Well, Tyson Fury pulled out. I think he pulled out once. I think his uncle died, so I'll give him a pass on that one. But actually, he pulled it on Vladimir. Put on Vladimir and said he had mental health, right? So you've got these guys here, right? And they pull out of fights when they feel fit or they feel like it's a danger or whatever it is. They pull out a fight. I don't give them no pass. There's none. Both guys train. You know what the day is. You're a boxer. You got to get you. If no fighter comes into a fight perfect, you need to get in there, right? Now he's got a hamstring. Probably got a hamstring because the amount of running he was doing in the fight against David Lemieux probably finished off his legs. Now he's done, and now maybe they're setting up with a fight with Canelo. So I don't know what the heck's going on over there, but I don't endorse it. It's not good, and it's very tedious. We're gonna go into the chat. We got Boxing Clinic and more. He said I got Flanagan, nice one. Flanagan by UD. Hooker's not that good. Yeah, I agree with him. What's it? I can't pronounce the last name, but you always.
I know that name. Boxing Clinic.
Are you talking about Obasusi?
Obasusi. Thank you. Bro, now it's a G. Obasusi. Obasusi. So Fury's the Buster Douglas put
another Nigerian scammer.
I know that name. I know that boxing clinic and more name. Who is that? I know that name.
I don't know. I'm just busting.
Yeah, I know Boxing Clinic. Yeah, he got his own channel. I mean, he's okay.
Oh, Dan the Man's. Oh, cool. Dan the Man's.
Let me go look, man. I know that name. Let me go look. Let me go look.
Hey, let me finish in the chat. So,
He gonna go in, man.
Yeah, he is. He know who he is. He going in on him. That's what he's trying to do.
Nah. I really don't know. I'm about to check and see because it's a few. Oh, I see. Oh no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Nah, I ain't going in. I'm a reserve. I'm just saying. I just heard some. I just heard some misreporting over there before. Like, and just,
You did miss
you know, I just
I don't
heard.
that channel.
Hangouts going left. Let me.
No. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Look. If you there, I'm just saying, bro. If you gonna report the fights, man. Hey. I'm just saying, bro.
Man, listen to that channel. Somebody sent me a link, and they told me I said, look, I'm gonna go in on this guy, man, because he's making videos talking about Jared Hurst ducking Charlo. Like this guy Charlo doesn't have a fight ahead of him. Charlo fights this weekend. Well, he first got to get through that fight. How's Hurst ducking him? Hurst unified.
I didn't see that one, bro. I didn't see
That's
that
why
video.
I made that video. One of my last videos.
I think we need to get back on topic. Where's EJ at? Yeah.
I tell you this. Her, if anybody deserve to have a money fight, it's Jared motherfucking Hurd.
Hold up. I've got a hangout for that. So this is what I'm getting. Let me finish what I'm saying. So anyway, in the chat, you see, if AJ and what? Okay, let's talk about AJ Ward. No, not AJ. Oh, he's lying. Okay, he said he's lying about the injury. He said shout out to Nata. That man's cultured. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, man. That was.
Thank you.
Well, it was well pronounced. Well, it was well pronounced on people's names, and yeah, he's definitely cultured. All right, so
shout out to Nyota because I had a hard time announcing Io's last name too. Abasushi. Thank you, Nyota.
All right, so Dan the man, you're here. We already gave our prediction on the UK Watson and Coley, so we leave that one for now. Right?
Okay.
We'll probably get it on Friday night. What's going to be probably tomorrow. So we're going to ask you about Flanagan and Maurice Hooker, and also Tyson Fury's comeback. Go ahead.
Well, Tyson Fury is fighting a blown up cruiserweight, so I mean, I saw the guy. I mean, what he could do. He doesn't really possess much of a threat. I mean, he's fought. If you look at his record, he's fought at least about 90-80% of his guys. He fought with guys with a lot of losing record, with a big losing record. So, so that's like not much to predict about to run that down. But as far as Flanagan and Hooker, I'm not really high on Flanagan. But I'm not really high on Hooker either. So I expect Flanagan to win this fight pretty comfortably. But Hooker could somehow surprise us. We'll see. But if he does, that's a minor upset in my eyes. So I expect Flanagan to cruise by unanimous decision in this fight.
Okay. Well, Tyson Fury, like you said about his opponent, no one's really impressed about the opponent. I'm going to bring some things because I heard Eddie Hearn earlier on today. So Eddie Hearn, this is what Eddie Hearn, I'm going to quote what Eddie Hearn says. Not like verbatim, but more or less what he said today. He said basically, "Oh yeah, EJ, you need to flame up Yardi." I'm not gonna say nothing about Andy Yardi. I ain't got nothing to say about Andy Yardi. I'll leave that. No, because he's still a prospect right now, and like they got the thing is, yeah, I know Tunde Ajayo, and I've talked to him personally. And they're just taking their time with him. I know that we look at him, we want to see the potential, but basically, if that's what he wants to do. And the thing is, it doesn't matter what you do in boxing, whether you take long or you go into hard fights, you're going to have to fight someone. So when it happens, the longer you take, it's going to be bad for you. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be bothering trying to chase this group. There's so many things in boxing, like there's lower weights, there's so many other big fights. So right now, Yard is not really my main cause right now. I know he's a Frank Warren fighter, but he's not my main cause. But anyway,
bro, people acting like that dude got 30 fights already, man. Like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Well, I think the problem is that they're not asking to go on the war level. They're asking to at least fight somebody on domestic level who's worthy, like a Jose Burton or a Callum Johnson and those type of guys. That's what people are asking. Joshua Boati.
Yeah, that got offered. They offered the Callum Johnson fight. And they turned the Callum Johnson down fight. I don't know why. They wanted to fight Frank Buglioni, and like obviously that fight, Frank Buglioni wants to fight them now. So I don't know what they're doing because Frank Buglioni would fight them now. So they're still working out what they want to do. So until they realize what they're going to do, and right now he's still domestic level, we leave it alone.
Right.
I mean, he just want a southern area. He's got belts and he's got a ranking. But really and truly, if they don't want to fight no one, they don't have to. They're in a position where they're not forced to. You know what I mean? There's not that many. But anyway, I was going back to Tyson Fury. So what Eddie Hearn said, basically, he said that they were saying, aren't you upset that you didn't sign Tyson Fury? He goes, no, because this is what Eddie Hearn said. He said, we had fights lined up for Tyson Fury to make him a multi-millionaire. First fight we were going to give him was going to go against Tony Bellew. That's what Eddie Hearn said. Tony Bellew was going to be next fight. The second fight, if he got past him, we was going to give him Dillian White. And if he got past Dillian White, we was going to give him AJ. That's what Eddie Hearn was going to give Tyson Fury on his comeback. And I was like,
oh, damn.
Whoa. So you're going to give him the gauntlet. The same gauntlet.
Yeah, they were.
They gave to Deontay Wilder. And I was like, you're damn right he weren't going to sign it, because you see the thing is, yeah, in them two fights, there's potential banana skins, bro. There's potential. The thing is, you're giving a Tyson Fury who's had 2 years or heavy layoff on cocaine, on his chair, sleeping, and his neck's got red. Yeah, going against a guy who just beat, and his confidence is very high. Does beat David Haye. Against Dillian White, who confidently knocked out a very big puncher in Lucas Brown. And then you're gonna put Tyson Fury in them positions. Like, I'm not saying, I think Tyson could probably beat the two of them, right, and get money. All them fights on HBO. Sorry, all them fights could have been pay-per-view. But Tyson Fury, if you look at his resume, and I was listening to Billy C. I know a lot of people don't listen to B. I mean, I agree with him all the time. But what he said was right on point. He said, if you look at Tyson Fury, mate, take away Vladimir Klitschko, there's nothing happening. You got Kevin Johnson, you have Derek Zura twice, and what else is happening in these red? You got Martin Rogan.
USSR Cunningham.
Well, you got Cunningham, but look, but you can't. This is why I don't like when people do that. Take fighters off resumes. It's on his resume.
You can't do that.
No,
exactly.
No, I'm trying to make a point. Right? And even if you got Tyson, even if you got Vladimir on the resume, right? So get the rematch. What happened in the rematch? You psychologically, mentally broke down, right? Going this. Look, Buster Douglas 2.0 is in effect. And the thing is, you're coming back against another cruiserweight. You beat Steve Cunningham, a cruiserweight who was well-ranked cruiserweight. So why are you going against? It's like picking wings off a butterfly or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, why?
That's your champ, EJ.
People is evil, you know.
Your world champ of England, man.
Yeah, let me say this real quickly. Let me say something, EJ. First of all,
he's
what
the
Eddie
real
Hearn
world
is trying to
champ
do.
over there, man. He didn't have no belts handed to him like the other guy.
That's true.
Hey,
Let me say this. Let me say this real quickly, man. What Eddie Hearn is trying to do is that he's trying to soften up Fury, because he's trying to soften him up. If he gets past both of those guys, he'll be easy pickings for Joshua to feed to. That's what he's trying to do. Either that or one of those guys is going to win that fight and take the lineal championship away from him, and then it'll be an in-house fight. That's what's going.
He ain't got a lineal
championship.
That's what they said. They said he still got it.
He said he's still got it. He said he's still got it because he's the man who beats the man. My thing is this: he might be. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now, and you're right. I'm going in on him. Yeah, low. Do what's it? Low do boxing. I leave low alone.
Look for boxing. Yeah.
Everyone says that he's the master of boxing, so you should be. No. Don't worry about that. All right, listen. All I'm saying is, I'm going to tell all of you right now, when Fury has his first fight against this guy, put £2 or $2 down every time Fury fights against that guy, because I guarantee that one of these bums are going to upset him. I guarantee you that one of these bums are going to get him and throw him. Because you see, in boxing, this is how boxing works, right? You go in there against a guy like Kevin. I remember when, what's his name again? When the David Price was going to get Tony Thompson, right? Tony Thompson looked like he trained in the dressing room. He came out and they thought this kid was going to get executed, bro. This guy turned him over, right? And this is what happens. They bring this guy over, a cruiserweight no one's ever heard of, no one's heard before, and he will come into England. Tyson Fury will be celebrating, drinking booze, come in there and get turned over. So I'm gonna put a little change down on the guy, because no one comes back from binging on coke and depressions and all the stuff he's been through, and you think you're gonna rekindle your youth. It don't happen in boxing, bro. You wish it does, but it doesn't. So I urge everyone to put some money down if they can. And boy, you might see an upset, bro, because it'd be one of the biggest upsets in boxing. Because in the day, Tyson, in terms of his shape, and the reason why he's coming back is because he saw AJ's performance against Joseph Parker. Is that the reason why you brush yourself off and thought you can come back? Because you thought, okay, if AJ can do that against them, I could blatantly beat AJ. But that's AJ at a high level and not really, he wasn't really committing. That's AJ messing him on with bloody Vladimir a week before, telling him how to jab and stuff. I don't know what the heck AJ was playing at. So if you think that AJ is gonna turn up against you, you got nothing coming. But everyone's gave their positions across the board. It's a sweep. Flanagan's gonna win against Hooker, Maurice Hooker, and Tyson Fury. Everyone more or less has picked Tyson Fury, but I'm gonna put a little pounds down on this guy. I don't know what his name is. That's the case. You might upset Tyson Fury because Tyson might be on something. Anyways, we've done enough on this hangout. We're gonna thank everyone in the panel, everyone in the chat. Right?
No. Hold on, EJ. We didn't. One of the fans asking for something. He asking about Anthony Yard. He said give Anthony Yard that work.
We addressed that already. We
did?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Oh, I got up from the seat. I didn't know, but he sure asked because that Yard and Tunde, they moving a little shaky out there, man.
I already said, I talked to Tunde already. Tunde is doing, he's doing it on purpose. He's making him move. He goes, he only had like 5 amateur fights. We're taking the time. Another thing about Tunde had a stroke. Tunde had a stroke a couple of years ago because a lot of his fighters were getting took for other promoters. Basically, he had O'Hara Davis, he had Craig Richards, he had a lot of other fighters, and what happened? He trained them from amateurs, and then when they got pretty good as a pros, other companies, not saying Matchroom, but other organizations came and approached his fighters and took them from him. He then had a stroke, and he came back from it, brought himself back up, and he said that's never going to happen to him again. So he then became a manager. So he's the manager at Anthony Yard and also the trainer. So what's happened with him? That's his only prized possession. His only fighter. That's the only guy he dedicates himself to. So he's going to take his time with the guy, with the fighter, and he's going to build him slowly and make sure, because all the work he put in, remember, he put a lot of work in from the amateurs all the way up to now. So he's going to make sure he gets every money he said. So, Yard is doing fashion. He was a former footballer. You know what I mean? I know we'd like to see the kid be rushed against certain guys to see how good he is. But like that, he seems Tunde's not going to do that. I know it's their timing. Maybe not even next year, over the year before. But in the meantime, I always say, yeah, but I know, I agree. But I said, it doesn't matter how long you leave it, it's usually worse for the fighter. That's why it's better sometimes fighters, they get hard fights or against former champions now, so you can kind of have a measuring stick. But if you can find these bums, when you get pitched up at a high level, you're not ready. So maybe you might be managed wrong or whatever, but that's up to Tunde and Anthony Yard. They're happy with their formula, and that's more or less where we are now. And to be fair, now I'm not gonna be one of them guys like trying to say I know more than what the manager knows. We watch boxing. We want to see great fights, but if that guy doesn't want to fight guys, then we just watch someone else. There's other guys in boxing, so that's more or less the answer to that. I'd like to thank the panel for coming over. I'd like to thank the guys in the chat. Come over. We're going to talk obviously we're going to Santa Cruz against Abner Maurice and that card. Actually, before I go, there's some fights in the undercard. We have Nathan Gorman going to get Sean Turner. I don't know who Sean Turner is. Nathan Gorman, that fight, we've got some other guys on there. There's actually, forget, I'm not going to mention them other guys. There's no point. You know what I mean? There's the other guys on Frank Warren's card, but the main event should be good. That's also going to be on Saturday. So from EJ Boxing Live, from the panel, thanks very much for coming over, and we'll catch you later. Peace.